I'm riding around, no gimme. It's mine, I spend it. 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 I'm riding around, no gimme.
Hey, Young America. Hopefully you guys are all ready for a great Monday. My name is Jasmine Jones, and I'm here with the weekly address to young Americans. This show is sponsored by an organization called YOU, which stands for Young, Organized, and United. All right, so today's show is called, Should I Purchase It or Nah? This is a question that I'm pretty sure a lot of young Americans, young professionals ask themselves as we are trying to be financially sound individuals and figure out how to really manage our money to help us do things and live the life that we want to live. And so what I want to do today is kind of break down different ways and how we begin to build practices that help us be financially sound versus perpetually broke, right? I'll be the first one to say being broke sucks, okay? And nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to feel like they can't get the things they want, no matter how small or big. But there's certain practices that we have to have in order to be able to do that. So I want to just set the groundwork for just some small tips that help you see how to be able to make the decisions that you need to in order to prevent from being in the I'm broke lane, okay? And I do want to set a little context to this and why this is important, because as a younger generation, we do have the access to have everything and anything we want at any time. And I think that as a country, we haven't quite benefited from that attitude of just having everything we want and purchasing everything. And we need to begin to ask ourselves what makes the most sense. So this is not just an individual thing and fixing that kind of practice as for our own personal lives, but this is something bigger for our generation to actually wrestle with when we make decisions about money. So hopefully this expands itself beyond just you, but today we will focus on just you. So let's jump right in. All right, the first tip is start with the basics. Is it a need or is it a want? Okay, now this is a very, very important question that everybody has to ask themselves. When it comes to purchases, like I said, whether it's small or whether it's large, you often have to ask yourself, is this a need or is this a want? See, the problem that happens a lot of times is that we usually, what a financially sound person would do is they would spend a majority of their money on what they need, buy a few things that they want, and then save the rest of it. Well, a lot of us have a kind of mixed up equation where it's kind of like we buy a whole lot of the things we want, we squeeze the last few pennies for the things we need, and then it's like savings, huh? Like, what money do I have left? And that's okay, because all of us face that kind of situation at some point of our lives, and if you didn't, lucky you. But the point is that we can fix this by really looking at ourselves and saying, well, what is it that I really need, and really purchasing those things and giving some restraint to the things that we want. And then also at the end of the day, when we practice that restraint, saving what's left over. So all we have to do is really start to narrow down our definition of a need and a want and begin to break our money and our purchases down based on that. Spend more what you need, spend less on what you want, okay? Now, the next question, the next piece of this is you have to look at what are all of your priorities. Now, this is a big thing because it actually is kind of hard to think in this manner. So I'll give you a small example. The way I think about all of my priorities is that I look at it through pay periods. So I look and think about everything that's going to come in the next 2 weeks of my life. And I begin to subtract what it has to be. And it doesn't matter what it is. It needs to be things that you got to do. Whether it's bills, whether it's a friend's birthday dinner, whether it's a membership renewal. No matter what it is, this thing is coming in the next 2 weeks. So when I'm looking at my paycheck and I'm looking at the things I've got to do, I subtract all of that and say, what do I have left? If I have nothing left, I need to sit down. All right, but if I have something left, then that's where I begin to jiggle and say, all right, what do I want to do with this? Do I want to buy a few things that I want? Do I want to save most of it? But I think getting to the point of really looking at all your priorities within a certain time span and making sure you prioritize that, I think that really helps make you make financially sound decisions so that you don't overspend and end up, at zero by week 1, which we know happens and is fine because, we will learn and we'll do better later. But the fact is that we can start today with mitigating those type of practices. So prioritize what you know is going to come within the time spans of when you get paid again or when you have a big goal or something in mind. All right, so the very last one, which is for any financially sound guru, this is kind of like the cardinal rule, and that is finding a cost-effective alternative. All right, so anybody who loves to save will always look at this. I am a sales freak. Like, if I see a sale, I will go crazy. I will forever remember how much I saved on that item. I tell everybody, and the reason why is because I was able to get what I wanted for a cheaper price. Now, I know everybody has different feelings about that, and it doesn't always work, but this is how I want you to put this in perspective. What I mean by it is that, say for example, you like designer clothes. That's fine, but sometimes consider maybe getting your designer clothes from a consignment store. Still just as nice, just as quality, probably in pretty good shape if it's at a consignment store, but you're gonna get it at a better price, right? Like, even for my coffee drinkers, a very small purchase, and you have to have it on a daily basis. Well, instead of buying the Starbucks coffee every day, have a coffee maker at your desk and just have as many cups of coffee as you want. But it's going to be way more cost effective than going to Starbucks every single day and purchasing a $3 to $4 coffee. So, point blank, to sum all this up, is that you've got to look for your cost effective alternatives, because that's going to really help you scale back on your spending and actually have something to save, or actually have more to spend on a little more of the things you actually want, and have enough, which is the most important, for what you need. So hopefully some of these tips have spoken to you guys, and I really hope that you can take them into practice this week, or consider them for down the road when you are ready. But I will let you all go, and have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
I'm riding around, I'm getting it. It's mine, I spend 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 it. I'm riding around, I'm